So hello everyone, welcome to Triaright. This is Pack 365. Myself Sujit. So in this session, we are going to discuss more about our pickling, or we can say that serialization that's available in our pickle. Okay. So in the previous session, we are already discussed what is pickle and how to use that. Okay. So if I just try to take a Python data and we are just try to convert it into our encryption. So at that time, we are just try to use this pickle. Okay. So for this pickle, we have either serialization or deserialization. Okay. So what is serialization? We are already seen to achieve this serialization, we have two options, or we can say that we can use two methods. One method will be dumps method and another method will be dump method. Okay. So how both are going to work? Because in the previously we are already discussing how the dumps method will going to work. Okay. So whenever we are just trying to discuss related to our dumps method means it will be not adding the data, or we can say that it will be not writing the content that's available in this data which I'm passing as the Python data. It will be not adding into the file manually. Means we are just trying to adding that particular thing by the help of our method that is called our write method. Because in our write binary, this access mode will provide this method. Okay. So by the help of this one, we can add that particular thing. But in case of our dump method, we don't need to write that particular things. Means we can say that this method convert Python data into encrypted format and write the content into the file internally. Means here we are just try to manually adding, but if I just try to use the dump method, it will be internally adding that things. Okay. So now we are just try to take the same thing. Okay. So as of now, I am just try to comment this one because we are just try to create one more file to see that in this folder, means in this JSON folder, I have three files only: sample.json, sample1.json, and sports.pickle. Because to initialize a file as a pickle file, either you can mention the extension as .pickle or you can mention .pickle. Okay, both you can use. So now my requirement will be I want to take a Python data. Now my requirement will be I just want to convert it into the encrypted format. Means how? If you see here also, means the data which was not understandable by the user. So if you see here, we cannot understand what is the content that's available in this sports.pickle because we are using this as my pickle file. Okay. So now also we are just try to convert it the same thing. Okay, so here I am just trying to take the data as cricket 11, football 11, kabaddi 11, but a human cannot read all the data correctly. Okay, so now we are just trying to use what is the difference between our dump method and our dumps method. Okay, so first I am just trying to take the data. So in the form of our dictionary, because this will be taking in the form of our key value pair only. Okay. Now I'm just try to take the same thing here. So here I'm just try to take the data, one key value pair as name and the second value key value pair as my gender. Okay. So now I'm just try to take the same thing. So here I'm just try to take name as my Sujit. Okay. And the second key value pair as the gender. Okay. So here I'm just try to take gender and here I'm just try to take male. Okay. So now my requirement will be I just want to convert this data into our encrypted format by the help of our dump method. Okay. So here we are just try to use our file handling concept, because in our file handling it says that you just need to open a file and performing some operation and close it. Here also we are just try to perform the same thing. Means we are just try to take this data and we are just try to save into a file. Okay. So in the Python, we know that if we don't have any data, okay, means if you don't have any data that's available in this folder as a file name, then we can say that by the help of our write method we can create that particular thing. So now we are just trying to take this one, how to create each and everything. Okay, so whenever we are just trying to use any file handling concept, then we are just try to use our with open. Okay, so here I'm just try to take with open, and here I'm just fast requirement, it will be take a file name. So here I'm just try to take that file name as details.pickle. Okay, either you can pass pickle or you can just try to pass pickle. Okay, after that if I'm not specifying, then by default the file handling, or we can say that the open function will be take as a read access mode. But my requirement will be, I just want to add that particular thing, or we can say that write that thing. So here I'm just try to use write binary. Because why? Because the things were not understandable by the user, that's why here I'm just try to use write binary. Okay, after that we know that this open function will return a file object. So now to catch that particular thing, I'm just try to create a variable as f object. After that, previously when we are just try to use the dumps method, first we are just try to store the converted Python data into pickle, then only we are just try to able to write the content into the file. But now at a once we are just try to do the both the things. Okay, so how to do that? So here I'm just fast, if I just try to use any method, first you need to use your module name, then your object reference, or we can say that dot object reference. So here we are just try to pass your method name. So here my method name will be dump method. Okay, so this dump method will take two mandatory argument. Previously whenever you are just try to use this dumps method, it will take only one argument, that is called content. But this dump will be take two mandatory argument, that is called our content as well as the file object, because we are just try to store into this file. Because if you see in our JSON folder, there will be no file name will be detail.pickle. Okay, that's why here I'm first I want to pass the content, then here I am just try to pass my file object. So here my file object name will be f object. Okay, now if I'm just try to run this one, first it will be reading all the things. If any error, it will be showing. But as of now, we don't have any error. That's why here it will be not showing any error. But if you see in this folder, means in this JSON folder, one file will be created, that is called our detail.pickle. Means in this one, this data, this dictionary, the detailed dictionary will be converted into the form of our encryption. That's why here it will saying that the file is not display in this text editor, because it either binary or uses an unsupported text encoding, because we are just try to use the encryption. That's why here you need to click open anyway. Okay, after I'm just try to open this one. So guys, just see here my data will be in the form of our key value pair. But as of now, whenever I'm just try to convert it into pickle, this data will be not understandable by the user. That's why here we can say that the data will be converted into our encryption, or we can say that our serialization. Okay, so in the previously we are just try to write some theoretical point, but now we are just try to write some more theoretical point that's available in case of our serialization. In the next session, we are just try to discuss more about our deserialization. Means we are just try to converted our encrypted data into our Python data, or we can say that this is called our decryption or unpickling. Means this is called our pickling. Means we are just try to converted our Python data into our encrypted. Means we are just try to use the module name pickle. That's why this is called our pickling. Okay, so now we are just try to write some theoretical point. Means in the interview they might be asking why we are just try to use this pickle. Okay, also I'm just try to give some note point also. Okay, so first we are just try to write what is the use case of our dump method. Okay, so here I'm just try to write, so this method. Okay, So this method is used to, okay, this method is used to convert the Python data, converted the Python data into encryption, means, or we can say that into our encrypted file. Okay, so here we can say that encrypted encrypted file. Okay, or we can say that encrypt file also. Okay, encrypt, then at that time format, encrypted format also we can say that. Okay, so here I'm just trying to copy the things also. So encrypted format, or we can say that encrypted file. Okay, format I'm just trying to write. Okay, format, and write the content, write the content into the file, write the content into the file internally, means here we are not writing the things in manually, means previously whenever we are using our dumps method, we are just try to write the things by the help of our write method, but here we don't need to manually write that. Okay, now the next point will be available. Okay, 45 we are just try to use this pickle. Okay, so here I'm just try to write 5 use pickle. Okay, so in the interview they're going to ask you, you can at that time you can give all this point. Okay, so but first point, save Python object to a file so that you can use them later. Okay, save Python object, or we can say that because everything in our Python will be treated like a object only. Okay, save Python object to a file. Okay, so you can use them later, because as of now if you see here also, now we are just try to save this one. Okay, means later we can use that particular thing. Okay, now the second point, transform Python object over a network, because as of now we are just try to transform that particular thing by the help of this pickle also it can be possible. Okay, that's why here I'm just trying to write that transfer the Python object. Okay, here I'm just trying to write transfer the Python object, or we can say that Python data also. Okay, Python object over a object object. Okay, object over a network, over a networks. Okay, now the next point, store complex data. If you see here also, we can storing any type of data, because it will be just try to convert it that particular thing, means here we are not using any extra things to use that particular thing. Okay, that's why here we can make it possible. Okay, so here I'm just trying to check the. Okay, now the next point will be store complex data. Okay, store the complex complex data into a file. Okay, so these are the different point at the time of your interview you can tell them. Okay, now what is the important point? You can say that means pickle is Python specified, means you cannot unpickling in other language directly, means if I just try to take this file and you are just try to say your means as of now the file name will be saved in the form of our details.pkl. Now if you are going to use our Java and you are just try to convert it this one, so means pickle is Python specified, means in other language it will be not possible. Okay, so in the interview they're going to ask you, that's why here I'm just trying to specify that in the form of our note points. Okay, so pickle is Python specified, means in the Python only it will be available. That's why here we are just try to write specify. Here I'm just try to use you cannot. Okay, you cannot use that indirectly. Okay, means if you are just try to use this one in the different format you can use, but directly you cannot use that. Okay, you cannot unpickling, because what is pickle means converted our Python data into our encrypted format. Then what is this unpickling? Means we are just try to take this encrypted format and we are just try to convert it that particular thing. Okay. So other language. Okay. So this is the point. Then the second point will be available as be careful when loading pickle data from unstructured sources because it can read error also. Okay, so this is all about our serialization that's available in case of our pickle. So in the upcoming classes, or we can say that in the upcoming session, we are just try to discuss more about our unpickling, on serialization, or we can say that how to converted our encrypted data into Python data. So that's all for this session. Thanks for watching Triaright.